Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Life English Podcast, the place where we make difficult English grammar feel easy, natural, and fun. Sometimes English makes you stop and think, wait, which word should I use here? But don't worry, we are here to help. I'm Aria.
And I'm Ethan. Hello, everybody. We're really happy you joined us today.
So, Ethan, how's your day going?
Pretty good, honestly. But something funny happened this morning that reminded me of today's topic.
Oh, really? Tell us what happened.
I was texting my friend about yesterday, and I wrote, "Yesterday I did very tired after work."
Oh, really? Tell us what happened.
I know. And my friend replied, "Do you mean you were very tired?" That's when I started thinking, why can't I use did there?
And that confusion is exactly what we're talking about in today's episode. Many English learners mix up was, were, and did because all of them talk about the past.
Exactly. These words seem similar, but each one has a completely different job in a sentence.
Today, we'll explain everything in a very easy and natural way, using simple examples and real conversations. No difficult grammar rules, no stress, just real English for everyday life.
And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Real Life English Podcast, like this episode, and share it with a friend who always gets confused between was, were, and did. We upload new English lessons every day.
All right, let's get started. First, we need to understand what these three words actually are. Was, were, and did are all used for the past tense.
Right, but even though they all talk about the past, they are not used in the same way.
Let's start with was and were, because these two work together as a team.
They are the past forms of the verb to be. In the present we say am, is, are, but in the past we say was and were.
For example, present. I am tired. Past. I was tired.
Another one. Present. She is happy. Past. She was happy.
And one more. Present. They are at home. Past. They were at home.
So basically, am and is usually become was, while our becomes were in the past tense.
Now the big question. When do we use was and when do we use were?
Easy rule. We use was with I, he, she, and it. Usually one person or one thing.
Like these examples. I was happy yesterday. He was at work. She was really tired. It was a beautiful evening.
And we use were with you, we, and they. Usually more than one person.
For example, you were so funny yesterday. We were at the park. They were excited. The kids were very loud.
So remember this simple pattern. I was. He was. She was. It was. You were. We were. They were.
Perfect! If you remember those 7 patterns, was and were become much easier.
Now let's talk about when we actually use them. We use was and were to describe feelings, situations, or conditions in the past.
Exactly. We use them to explain how someone felt or how something looked at a certain time.
For example, I was hungry. She was nervous. The weather was awful. He was a teacher.
Notice something important here. These are not actions. Nobody is doing anything. We are only describing a state or condition.
Was and were usually connected to feelings, descriptions, or situations in the past.
This reminds me of my friend Laura.
Another Laura story. Go ahead.
So last week, Laura went to a job interview. Later, she called me, and of course, I asked, "How was it?"
And what did she say?
So last week, Laura went to a job interview. Later, she called me, and of course, I asked, "How was it?"
That's a perfect example. Every sentence uses was because she's describing people, places, and feelings.
Exactly. The interviewer was kind. The office was beautiful. I was nervous.
Then I asked, were the other candidates there too?
Nice. We use were because candidates means more than one person.
And she replied, yes, they were. There were about 5 people waiting.
See how naturally it works? Was and were help us describe how things were in the past.
Now let's move to did, because this word works very differently.
Very differently. Different purpose, different grammar.
Did is the past form of do, and we usually use it for actions. Things people actually do.
For example, I did my homework. She did the dishes. He did a great job.
These are all actions. Someone is doing something.
But here's the important part many learners forget. We usually use did in questions and negative sentences.
Exactly. In normal positive sentences, we normally use the past verb directly.
We say, I went to the store. She cooked dinner.
I did go to the store. She did cook dinner.
But in questions, did becomes very important.
Did you go to the store? Did she cook dinner?
And we also use it in negative sentences.
For example, I didn't go to the store. She didn't cook dinner.
And remember, the word didn't is simply the short form of did not, and we usually use it when we talk about negative actions that happened in the past.
Exactly. The easiest way to understand this grammar rule is to remember that did is mostly connected to actions, while was and were are connected to feelings, situations, and conditions.
Which is why the sentence I did very tired sounds incorrect, because tired is not an action that someone can do.
Tired describes your feeling or condition, so the correct sentence is, I was very tired after work, because you are describing your state in the past.
Once you clearly understand the difference between actions and states, using was, were, and did becomes much more natural in daily English conversations.
Let's make this easier with one simple story. Imagine you came home from work yesterday evening after having a long and stressful day.
You might say, I was really tired when I got home, but I still did my exercises before dinner because I wanted to feel active.
That sentence is perfect because was tired describes your feeling, while did my exercises describes an action you completed later.
And after dinner, you could also say, the food was delicious and everyone at the table was happy and relaxed.
See how natural that sounds? Was and were help us describe people, feelings, and situations, while did is connected to actions and activities.
Now let's practice with a few questions, because many English learners become confused when they need to choose between was, were, and did in questions.
For example, if you want to ask about the condition of the food, you say, was the food good? But if you want to ask about the action of cooking, you say, did you cook the food yourself?
And if you want to ask about the situation during dinner, you can ask, were you alone or were your friends there with you?
So the simple rule is this. Use was for one person or thing, use were for more than one person, and use did whenever you are talking about actions in the past.
All right, let's make things more interesting with a quick challenge for everyone listening to Real Life English Podcast today.
We'll say a sentence with a missing word, and you try to choose the correct answer before we explain it.
First sentence. Yesterday, the weather blank absolutely beautiful during our picnic in the park.
The correct answer is was, because beautiful describes the condition of the weather, and weather is only one thing.
Great job! Now try this one. Blank, you finished your homework before you went to sleep last night?
The answer is did, because finishing homework is an action, and questions about past actions usually begin with did.
Great job, everyone! Let's do a few more examples so this grammar rule becomes easier and more natural for you in daily English conversations.
Here's the next sentence. My friends blank really happy at the party because they hadn't met each other for a long time.
The correct answer is were, because happy describes a feeling, and friends means more than one person.
Now try this one. I blank not understand the question because it was too confusing.
The answer is didn't, because understanding is an action, and this sentence is negative.
One more. Blank the movie interesting or was it boring?
The answer is was, because we are describing the condition of the movie, and movie is one thing.
Once you understand the difference between actions and feelings, using was, were, and did becomes much easier automatically.
Now let's quickly look at negative forms, because they are extremely common in spoken English. We usually say wasn't, weren't, and didn't, because short forms sound more natural in conversation.
For example, I wasn't happy, they weren't ready, and she didn't come to the meeting yesterday.
Now let's hear one short, real-life conversation using all three words naturally. Imagine two friends talking on Monday morning after the weekend. One friend asks, "How was your weekend?" And the other replies, "It was really good, but I was very busy on Saturday."
Then the conversation continues with questions like, what did you do? And was the weather nice? Followed by answers such as, we were outside all afternoon. And yes, we did eat in the garden because the weather was perfect.
See how naturally these grammar forms work together in one simple conversation about the past?
Exactly. We use was and were for feelings, situations, and conditions, while did is mainly used for actions, questions, and negatives in the past tense.
These are some of the most common words in English, and the more you practice them, the more natural and confident your English will sound.
Or you can make it a little warmer and say, "Nice to meet you, I'm Jake."
Born in one place and live in another.
Thanks for learning with us today, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.